this is Russ. Time for another bike ride. It is currently Monday morning, about 7:30ish, something like that. Little chilly. Yeah, I'm leaving early in the mornings now, and it's still a little chilly, but I actually prefer it more colder than hotter. I'm going down the same path we have been in a while because, they're still fixing those curbs. Remember I told you about sidewalks being all messed up? Yeah, the curbs are still messed up, and not only that, they ripped apart all the asphalt on the streets too. And that's all up and down the entire road for, I don't know, probably a mile or two. And so I'm trying to avoid that area. And so the forest preserve we usually go on, yeah, that's affected because of that. Last time I went on there, it's rough surfaces, and then dusty too. So I'm doing my best to avoid that area for a while. Unfortunately, that is the forest preserve that we go around in a circle. It's like a 3-mile ride, but this other way is okay too. It goes through other parts of the forest preserves. Lighting is always a little more difficult over here. And of course, since we're early in the morning, we hit the sun at the wrong angle, so we end up with lens flares and everything. Anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about good things and bad things about e-bikes today. So I know that a number of you are interested in bikes, and the reason I know that is because several people had used the Rad Power Bikes discount code that I provide in the description of the videos, and they get a discount for that, and of course I get a $50 gift card from them as well for providing you the code. So let's talk a little bit about e-bikes and the good and the bad about it. How's that? So before we talk, let's go ahead and cross this street here. And this is one that we do definitely have to stop just in case. Well, we got some cars stopping for us, so we wave thank you to them. Oh, you might also notice that I am back with the microphone on the helmet. All right, and it's not that it's that difficult to deal with. It's just that the initial startup of the day, I have to set up the recorder and the microphone and all that kind of stuff. But overall, the sound is actually better, and it will synchronize with the visuals of the camera that's facing me. All right, so the cell phone camera can directly interface with that digital recorder, and so the mouths will match the voices. All right, so e-bikes, what's good and bad? Well, what should we start with, the good or the bad? I think let's start with the good. All right, the good is that you do get to go outside. That's, I think, a key plus. You get to go outside and enjoy the outdoors. All right. Now that it's summertime, I recommend riding in the mornings because it's cooler. Good morning. And you get some exercise too. If you're not doing the throttle 100% and you're pedaling, you do get a little bit of exercise. Now, today, I'm going to try to do a little bit of power assist, or pedal assist. I always call it power assist. Pedal assist level 1. Not 100% of it, but I'll try. That slows you down, but it does save your battery. The unfortunate part is this particular path has a lot of ups and downs, so which means I'm going to have to throttle a little bit on top of it. That's kind of okay too, because I usually do it anyways, even when I'm in pedal assist level 2. All right. I notice there are people out on the path here. There's a group of 4 runners ahead of us, so we're going to have to somehow pass them. We'll have to hit them with the bell. Then we'll continue on. Thank you. Good morning. Okay. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to leave it on pedal assist level 2. Alright. Morning. Going up a hill a little bit here. So yeah, it's a benefit getting outdoors. You do get a little bit of exercise if you want. What else is good about it? Well, if you haven't ridden the bike in a while, it gives you new skills, right? That's a good thing. What else is good about it? Well, you can do hills with no problem. As we see with my own videos, you see me going up and down hills. Hills is not a problem unless it's this really steep hill going up. All right, there's one on this particular path that, yeah, it's kind of tough. But typically, the hills are not a problem for e-bikes. All right, and what else is good about it? Well, I don't seem to have a fear of getting around town now. That's a good thing. I can go up and down areas that I probably wouldn't have never gone with a car. That is a good thing. So you get to explore your neighborhoods, see what's out there. Okay, I think we're going to be going up this hill in a second here, so I'm going to power up a little bit, full throttle, and we're going to pedal harder to get up over this hill. We're lowering our gears. Yeah, if you use a lower gear, it's a lot easier to pedal it up there, but I am using full throttle just to help me along. There's a bunch of people coming up. Morning. Morning. Okay. All right, so the obvious benefits, of course, are health benefits of getting outdoors, getting some exercise, enjoying your neighborhoods, looking in areas that you would normally not go at. Like, yeah, there's no way you would be able to do this unless you plan to walk it, like those walkers there, or run it. But that's not something I would do. So I can do things now that I could never have done before in the past. Okay, I think those are the main benefits. So what are the drawbacks of having an e-bike? Well, these things are heavy. They are really heavy. This bike specs out at 69 pounds. I added a couple of front and back racks. So let's bring that to, say, 75 pounds. I carry a whole bunch of equipment to change flats and all sorts of stuff. So let's bring that up to 85 pounds. If I decide to bring my bike lock, which is a big heavy chain that's 11 pounds, that would bring it to 96 pounds. Yeah, I would say this bike is around 95, 96 pounds if I brought all that stuff with me. Usually I don't bring the lock with me because I don't usually leave my bike anywhere. I do lock it up in the garage. I lock it to my wife's bike, actually, to make it tougher. If you're going to try to steal it, you're going to bring both bikes with you, and that's kind of hard to carry that much weight, and it's kind of bulky. And you got two cars in the way on top of it, so it makes it tough, okay? Which brings us to another point. E-bikes are really popular to steal, all right? The batteries are very expensive. The batteries on this particular bike, if you bought the one that came from Rad Power Bikes, all right, you're talking, I think it's $550. You add sales tax, you're over $600. So these are not inexpensive bikes. That's another drawback. Now you could buy cheap bikes. There's the cheapest one is probably the one that's sold at Costco for $399. That is a decent bike for short ranges. I think they said maybe around 12 miles, something like that. Half the range of this bike. Now it's probably even less than that for a guy my size. But I think you can get better mileage if you didn't weigh as much as I did, or if you don't use the throttle as much, or if you use a lower pedal assist. I think many bikes advertise between 25 and 40 miles you can get out of a charge. I get about 24 I think, something like that, based on how I ride and based on my weight and based on the weight of the bike currently. Okay, so yeah, it's going to cost a little bit of money to buy one of these things. It's easy to steal. It's probably a big target. You should take the battery with you if you go in someplace, if you lock up the bike, because the battery, like I said, is worth, at least for this bike, about $600. Okay. Now you can buy cheaper batteries too, but you got to be careful that, you know, some of the cells are made in China. They're not the same quality like Samsung cells or Panasonic cells. You know, these cells I'm talking about, they're like AA type batteries. Okay, they're bigger than AA's, but you know, they're small individual cells that are all put together in series to create one big battery. Theoretically, you could build your own battery. You don't have to buy pre-made ones, but you got to know a little bit about soldering and a little bit about electricity to do it properly. Because you could buy the individual cells and link them all together and buy a case for it and build it yourself if you wanted to. But most people don't know how to do that, so you'll pay for it. Now, theoretically, I could do it because I actually do have a bachelor's in electronics engineering. But I don't. I've never used the skills that I learned in college. I went into a different path and went into law enforcement, as you know, and then I went into professional photography. So could I do it? Yeah. Will I do it? No. I think I'd rather have someone do it and do it right. So, what else is a drawback? Well. I don't know if this is a drawback or not, but people stare at you all the time when you're on this bike. They might stare at me because I'm a big guy on a bike. It could be that. But I think they also stare at the bike. I've had a lot of comments on the bike. A lot of people stop you and talk to you about the bike. Now, that's a good thing, but some people will look at that as a hassle. All right. Yeah, people are curious about these bikes because they're big. I mean, you got a big tire that's 4 inches wide. It's a humongous bike. You could buy a smaller bike, like we said, the Costco bike, but it doesn't have a lot of range. The motor's not that strong. Can you go up the hills that I can go? You might have a harder time, okay? So, yeah, it's going to cost you some money to buy an e-bike. All right, it's going down this hill. So usually when I go down this hill, I cover the brakes, make sure that I'm not going down too fast. All right. Any other disadvantages? Well, you got to learn to ride these bikes. It's not an easy bike to ride. I will say that. People make it sound like it is, but I know from reading the various forums that are on the Facebook groups, yeah, a lot of people have fallen on these bikes. I've fallen twice. I almost fell today. I had to stop and wait for somebody to cross my path, and then I had to make a hard left turn. Now, you all know about the left. I can't do lefts because if I start to angle down, I have to put my leg down. I don't have that leg strength due to my knee replacement. Okay, so yeah, I was close to biting it again today. I knew it too. I knew that if this lady didn't speed up, I'm going to have a problem. So she didn't speed up. I had to slow down to basically a crawl, then make a left turn, which of course is tough for me. Okay, just looking at a car that came up. The car slowed down, gave me the chance to go through. So, yeah, you got to learn to ride these bikes. They're not the same as a typical bike. Because of the weight of the bike, it makes it tougher. It doesn't move like a typical bike. It's not as nimble as a typical bike. You know, you make really quick turns with like a road bike. Road bikes are, you know, your typical 10 speeds, what we used to call 10 speeds. But thank you. So, yeah, you've got to be careful. Otherwise, you will fall. I think you should plan on falling. I think sooner or later you're going to fall. It's just a matter of when you do it. I would say you should have certain types of equipment with you at all times. All right. And you should have some safety equipment with you. Let's talk about that. I'm going to stop the camera in a minute here because we're at our 16-minute limit. Then we'll start up again in a second here. I'll make this turn. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, having this microphone and using the digital recorder takes me longer to get running again because I have to turn off the digital recorder, which is hidden behind my back. It's in a case that's attached to my belt behind my back. And then I got to deal with the other cameras and stuff. Okay, let's pass through here first. So yeah, let's talk about the things that you need to carry and have. Okay. My suggestion is get a vest. As you see here, let me adjust this camera a little bit. Get a vest. I've noticed that cars don't 100% see you. And so you want to make sure they see you. All right. So you'll see on the bike trails, a lot of people are wearing yellow. Like the vest color here, because that stands them out. So get a vest. Okay, I always thought that these vest things would be stupid, but really, it's probably the best thing I ever got, because it stands me out a little bit. I'm gonna stop here again. Hold on. Okay, this guy's letting me through. Wave, thank you. Yeah, it is probably the best thing because it stands me out. I have less chance of getting hit. Even from a distance, cars see me. That one car just let me pass because of it. So get a vest. It's not hot. I thought it would be hot, but the air blows right through this vest. Other things you need to carry. Yeah, you need to learn how to change your tires inner tube, okay? Because there's a very good chance you might get a flat. So I carry a spare inner tube. I carry extra slime. That's the stuff that goes inside the inner tube to help prevent flats, and also it doesn't prevent the flat. Helps fix flats, I should say. Don't know if that really works or not because I haven't had a flat that way before. You're going to need the equipment to take a tire off. Now, if you have a quick release front tire, that's pretty easy to take off. But the rear tire, you need an 18 millimeter wrench. For many of these bikes, the nut that holds the tire in there is about 18 millimeters. Double check with your own tires, of course, your own wheels. But 18 millimeter wrench, I carry one of those. You need a bunch of hex drivers. A lot of these connectors aren't standard screw heads, they're hex drivers, so you need metric and standard type hex drivers with you. You might need some tire levers, which is the things that help you remove the tire. But I found with the fat tires, you don't really need it as much. Those tires come off pretty easy, but you never know, so get some tire levers. What else do you need? You need a pump, right? Now I had purchased a small pump. All right, let me get through this narrow bridge first. This thing's always tough. Let's go down this way. Give me a second here. I'm gonna pass through this dog. Morning.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, we don't want to run the dog over. Yeah, that's another thing. You gotta watch out for potential hazards like that. What was I talking about? Okay, yeah, you need a pump. I bought a manual pump, but the more I thought about it, the big fat tires on this thing, might be better to get an automatic pump. So I ended up getting one that has a lithium-ion battery on there. It's a compressor, and I did a video for that. If I remember, I'll try to put a link to the video. But yeah, you wanna carry a tire pump with you, because if you get the flat, you're gonna need to pump it up somehow. So there's a lot of little odds and end things you gotta have. A couple of ducks. Good morning. So yeah, these are just some things that I think you should have. You should also carry things like energy bars or whatever. I've done that in the past. I'm all out, so I don't have any right now. You're gonna need a water bottle. You can buy different types of water bottles. Mine's is insulated, supposedly. I don't know if it really helps that much, quite frankly. All right. Thank you. So, yeah, where's this leading us to? I don't know. Have I been down here before? Probably. Hard to see with the sun. Gee whiz. Okay. I know where we are. I'm going to go underneath the tunnel again. Yeah, this is really hard to see with the sun hitting you directly in your eyes. All right, you're going to see the construction again here. Let me show you the construction that's going on. All right, take a look at the street. You can see it's all hacked up. It's ready to be, sorry, well, let me move, I'll go on to the left here. Good morning. It's all ready to be repaved. Curbs are still being fixed. And over here, I'm gonna have to get off the bike because to cross through this thing, it's really difficult. There's more bikes coming our way. Morning. 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 These guys rode through it. I can't do that. That's another drawback. With these big bikes, it's not easy. So this is what we have to deal with to get by. All right. All right, I think you know what I'm gonna do. I think I will take the street because I think it's too difficult the other way. Yeah, getting on and off is not easy. All right, we are now on the bumpy road. Too difficult to deal with it on the sidewalks. So anyways, these are just some things that you need to be aware of, I guess. Let's turn here. Yep, I had put on the chapstick, but it's still drying out. You know, wind hits you and dries out everything. Sun is very strong. I mean, the camera that's facing me probably looks decent, but I'm having a hard time even seeing because I'm looking right into the sun. So good things about riding in the morning, nice and cool. Bad things are you might not be able to see where you're going. You might be blinded by the sun. All right, we're gonna go to another area. What else? What else what were we talking about? Yeah, so yeah, get a pump, get all the safety stuff, carry all that stuff. It's kind of a necessity. That's about it. That's about it. So yeah, if you get an e-bike, get a good one if you can. You're not going to be buying these things constantly. It's going to last you several years. Be aware that the batteries will cost quite a bit of money when it's time to replace them. Make sure you charge the batteries properly. They recommend, at least Rad Power Bikes recommends, and I think others also, that you charge your batteries the first 3 times, 12 hours each. Okay? All right, we're going to stop here. There's too many cars. All right. Yeah, they recommend that you charge it 12 hours each time for the first 3 times. That's no matter how much you use the battery. So let's say you only ride for 5 minutes. Yeah, the next charge, 12 hours. All right. Let's say you only use it for a half hour. The next charge, 12 hours. The third time, 12 hours. And what this does is this evens out the battery. Okay, because there's multiple cells in there. You want to get that charge through to all those cells. All right. And then after that, you can charge it as you normally would. You know, if it takes 3 hours to bring it up to the full charge, pull the plug at that point. Okay. So you don't want to overcharge it, except for those 3 times. Now they recommend that you do this 12-hour charge thing every couple months or so. So, yeah, you wanna do that just to balance that whole battery charge system. What else? I'm trying to think. Yeah, so you wanna make sure your batteries are done properly. You know, that should be probably your utmost concern because the batteries are very expensive. You want to take the batteries with you so they don't get stolen. All right, if you're gonna lock your bike up somewhere, take your batteries with you. That's a hassle because these batteries could weigh anywhere from 8 pounds to 15 pounds. Now you're gonna have to carry that in a backpack or something and carry it with you. That's a lot of headache. So just be aware that these are things that you got to do. For me, you know, they said that you can replace your car with your bike. I don't think so because I wouldn't leave my bike somewhere while I'm out shopping. Come back, it's probably going to be stolen. I think I'd rather bring my old mountain bike and lock that thing up. But, you know, if you're carrying heavy stuff, I don't want to carry it on the mountain bike. I'd rather carry it on a bike that has a battery. That's the dilemma, you know. It's easy for them to say that this is something that you can do. You can replace your car with the bike. You know, it's easier said than done sometimes. Anyways, these are just some things, some thoughts, top of my head. I'll let you guys go. I'm running out of things to tell you today. So, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys next time.